So if you're a business owner, you're struggling with insolvency, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, you don't know if you're going to survive this year, and you're worried what actually goes on when a business goes into insolvency, me and my brother are going to unpack some real life cases. And today we're going to talk to you about a company that's just about to go into liquidation, what happened, how we've helped, and what the outcome's going to be like post liquidation. Sean, obviously on a no names basis, shall we dig into this inquiry that we got, I think probably a month or so ago? Tell us what happened when they rang up. I know it's a construction company. What was going on for them?
Construction firm. They was again struggling. Not a lot of work was coming in, and I say not a lot of work was coming in. It pretty much dried up.
Okay.
So, but he knew that there's potential. So it was again Emily. She'd taken the inquiry. Now the creditors, the debt that were built when we originally spoken to him, he made the call and said that his creditors were totaling around 440 grand.
Okay.
Weren't too sure on who he actually owed the money to at the time though.
Crikey.
So yeah, so his head was all over the place with it. But what he did know, one of his creditors was he had the director's loan, an overdrawn one.
Okay.
And again, he found us through watching the videos. He watched the overdrawn director's loan one, which sparked him to call us. Anyway, once we'd spoken to him a little bit more, so the creditors that he actually had, let me bring it up now. So he owed HMRC just over 100 grand.
Okay.
He owed the bounce back loan around 20 grand.
Yep. And
he had a director's loan of, it was 384 grand.
He owed the company 384 grand. How's he built that up?
Just over time, just again, dividends taking them.
That aren't dividends?
There aren't dividends.
Okay.
But he didn't really know at the time.
Let's just dig into that. Has he got any other creditors?
No, just HMRC and his bounce back loan. Okay,
so directors, they've got to start to understand this. Is we're all told to take, the best way to take money out of the company is a combination of salary and dividends. Yeah. But it's only when you're making a profit.
Yeah.
If you're not making a profit, for easy reckoning, £1,000 a month salary, topping it up by £3 grand a month in your head as dividends, it's actually on a director's loan account that at the end of the year will get converted into a dividend out of profits. But if you're not making a profit, that £3 grand a month is actually going on a director's loan account. And this guy's built up £400,000. So obviously he is the reason that this business has become insolvent. Now, if he'd have got better information on a monthly basis, this could have been avoided. So okay, let's keep talking through the job.
So again, construction. So we had assets on his balance sheet that was around 15 grand.
Yeah, what were they?
Van, tools. In fact, no, sorry, they were 15 grand. But some of them were new tools, some of them were old tools. The van, newish. But he wanted to start again. He wanted to pre-pack this company.
Okay, so for those that are watching this, pre-pack, what it means is he wanted to sell these assets before he appointed the insolvency practitioner. So that people can do that, but they've got to be really careful, Sean. So what's the advice you're giving directors that want to sell assets before they appoint a liquidator?
Well, I mean, the same with this guy. We had to get a full independent valuation done on the assets.
Why?
Well, then, because let's say that he did buy the assets without getting a valuation done. Well, you can be scrutinised for what's called a transaction under value. Whereas if you do the independent value, if you bring a third party in to actually value these assets, well, you can't be scrutinised, can you? Because
well, they're still going to be scrutinised.
No, but the director, we're going off the full valuation, aren't we?
Yeah, but the point I'm making is every insolvency involves scrutiny on the director. So what you're saying is when he gets scrutinised,
we've got to
he's paid the right amount of money. Yeah, that's the main thing.
So we brought in a valuer. You know, we did the introduction to the valuer. You know,
So we help oversee all that process.
So we had a chat with them, and they did a full valuation on the assets in the van.
Okay, cool.
So, again, so what that be? As long as you can get a full valuation done on your assets, we've got that to go off. So we've got a full valuation report that essentially tells you what you can actually buy these assets for.
Okay, and let's just dive into what a report's going to look like, because you've got an in situ value and an ex situ value on a report.
Yeah.
And the in situ is what the agent believes that these are worth to the director.
Yeah.
And the ex situ value is what he thinks he'll be able to sell them at auction. Have you got the numbers on that?
I'm bringing it up now. Let's have a look. So the full valuation.
I've got it here. I've got it here now. So, his report here, the two figures that the agent got.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got an in situ value of £1,300.
Yeah.
An ex situ value of £900.
Yeah.
Okay. So what did he end up making an offer for on the asset?
He made an offer of £1,000 plus VAT.
Okay. So it's in line with, it's somewhere in the middle. And has the agent recommended that offer?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So he's got a huge director's loan account, this guy. How's that been dealt with?
So what we've done is we've gone away to the practitioner beforehand, and we've got the settlement offer on his director's loan. Again, obviously we went into his personal situation. He actually has a couple of properties.
Okay.
So it was really important that we got this put in place beforehand.
But you mean an in principle settlement?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Put in place
so that's
beforehand.
reliant on him giving you all his personal financial information?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So just talk us through that settlement. What was his personal finances like?
So with the... Let me bring it up. So he had one house that, equity-wise, he had about 85 grand's worth of equity.
Okay.
The next house, he had about 43 grand's worth of equity.
Okay, so that's about 120 grand's worth of equity between the two properties.
Between the two. Personal debt-wise, there was about 60 grand's worth of personal debt. And so we went away to the practitioner.
And was he married as well?
He was, yeah.
So he shares about
Halved.
60 grand's worth of equity.
Yeah.
Because on the face of it, that'd frighten someone to death. Is, oh my gosh, I've got 120 grand's worth of equity in my property. But as long as the wife or your husband isn't involved in the business, an insolvency practitioner can't touch their share of the equity, can they?
Yeah.
So it's come down to about 60 grand's worth.
60 grand, yeah.
And people don't realise that actually, if you've got about that level of equity, and that's all you've got, an insolvency practitioner could start action against you.
Yeah.
But it could cost 50 grand to actually get you to bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And IPs don't really want the cost of those legal fees or the risk, because it could take a few years to get someone into a bankruptcy court, and things could change. And if you've got £1 million house with no mortgage, that's what's going to happen if you bury your head in the sand.
Yeah.
But on scenarios like this, a sensible offer of repayment could happen. And what was the oh wait, I've got the figure here. So this guy has been, it's £8,000 his director's loan account settlement. So that's a huge discount. And for those that are watching, the reason why that's been accepted is that is a better realisation and a quicker realisation, because it's up front, he's paying it up front, than what would happen in a bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Anything else that jumps out at you about this job?
No, it was, again, the director's loan, it was a big thing for him to we had to get that dealt with and get something put into principle beforehand. I mean, again, he'd spoken to another firm before ringing us.
Yeah.
Same, you know, just don't worry about it. We'll deal with that later on down the line. And then when he called us...
Why is that a fatal mistake? If you hear those words, don't worry about it, we'll deal with it down the line. Why is that a problem?
What I found with directors, every time I've heard that, is there's no deals to be done, you know. I use this. I spoke to a director last year who made the inquiry to us, and she had a 40 grand overdrawn director's loan with a house and equity.
Yeah.
And I've told her, and she kept on, she was more bothered about the liquidation price rather than the settlement.
Yeah.
And I said to her, that's not your issue there. I said, your issue is your director's loan. Anyway, I said to her, to go into liquidation, you're looking at about 5 grand plus VAT. I said, but you need to get a settlement done. She cut me off straight away and said, I've been quoted 3 grand plus VAT and not to worry about my director's loan. I couldn't do anything to change her mind and to stop her. Anyway, 4 or 5 months later, she called me back. So what started at 3 grand plus VAT is now coming to 43 grand plus VAT. They've come back to her for the full amount.
You can lead an horse to water, mate.
Yeah, yeah, and it stuck with me, that.
And I get them every single week. Like literally Sunday, I have a look at my emails. I got a guy yesterday. He says I went to 2 firms who everyone will know, and they both seemed to advise me as best they could. And I decided on this one firm, and now they're pursuing me for 60,000 quid. Now they're doing what an IP is meant to do. An IP is there to recover money for asset to get to the benefit of creditors. But what I don't like is this conversation can be had on day one.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the 5 grand plus VAT is not what you need to be worried about. It is the 50 grand they're going to come for once you appoint them. Now, it's strange insolvency. You can go out there and you could have a deal done in principle with a liquidator as long as you declare everything to them, show them your personal assets, your affordability, assets and liabilities, income and expenditure, and in principle they'll agree a settlement because most IPs don't want to go to court. But if you go into liquidation without agreeing that up front, well, commerciality goes out the window. And people don't like us saying this, you know, but that's the truth is, at the moment, you've got a bit of power, try and use it to minimise the damage. I mean, this guy's got a 300 grand overdrawn loan account. It's got to be reported on his conduct report. And obviously that's, you know, the insolvency service will act as they see fit. But it's been a good call to discuss.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we'll cut this one off there.
Yep.